Today's video, we're gonna talk about, is my product or service the problem? Why my ad campaigns won't work, or is it just my PPC strategy? Okay, this is something that very few people are brave enough to confront and to, when they're trying to figure out why their ad campaigns are not working on Google Ads, but also if you're talking about Facebook ads, if you're talking about LinkedIn ads, doesn't matter where you're advertising online or even offline for that matter, okay? Now there's a way to fix either one of these, even without changing what you're selling, okay? Because you can restructure what you're selling and make it exciting enough to make tons of money with PPC. I'm gonna cover that in detail in this video, but you gotta know when your ads are not working, whether to start messing with your ads or leave them the damn alone and mess with your offer and get that working. Because you can mess with your ads all day long. If your offer sucks, it ain't gonna work. If your offer is great and you just mess with this to get the ads to work, it's also gonna screw you up as well. Because naturally, you're just gonna undo something that's already working. So you gotta be able to spot which one of these is your real issue, given that you could fix them both. And I'm gonna cover how to fix them both on this video. And if you stay to the end of the video, we'll have case studies where we fixed them. We fixed the product or service, we fixed the campaigns, so you can see how to do this for yourself, okay? So getting into the content, the less competition that you have in your market or where you're advertising, the quicker your PPC will generally work. I've went into detail about this concept on other videos before, how with Google Ads, there's basically like a timeline. If you have little to no competition, you can get your ads working in a month. That is profitable after all your expenses of delivering your product or service and the ad spend itself. If you're in an ultra competitive market, like you're selling standing desks, or you're in water damage restoration services, it can take 18 months before your ads are profitable. And that's even with at least $100 an ad budget, because of the insane level of competition in those markets, which I know that sounds like a couple of random examples, but these are real examples, okay? For that matter, if you're in a heavy competition market, the reason why I bring this up is if you are a water damage restoration services company where someone's house is flooding and you're gonna come and bail the water out and you're gonna fix their house afterwards, you don't have to just be committed to, hey, it's gonna be 18 months and that's just the way that it is. You can fix your situation by pivoting what you're selling. So you're selling something in the same category, but slightly different. Or you could come up with a better offer or way to sell what you're selling to drown out the competition, all right? So I've got a bunch of different examples of how we did this in various markets, so you understand how to do this for yourself. The key thing is it's either down to pivoting or coming out with a better offer itself. If you want to, ultimately, even though you're the best PPC ad strategist in the world, with heavy competition in some markets, it's still gonna take, even myself, it's still gonna take 12, 18 months to get a campaign profitable, even when you're doing everything right. And the major lever you have is these two things to make what you have seem more attractive than it is right now, if you will. You could still focus on making the ads better, watch my other videos, and I've got all the tricks here for you to be able to use, and that'll cut down on the time it takes to be profitable, but these are gonna make things happen like that. So I would implore you to do these things, if you will. And until you've done all these things, you don't really know if your ad strategy is a problem, to be honest, right? You could go ahead and try to fix your ads, and your product or service and how it's framed is not right. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not gonna work. So I would suggest fixing this first. If you have this down, it's not a matter if PPC will work, it's just a matter of how much it will work. You just gotta pick the campaigns and the targeting that will work, and you're making money. So I generally I'm gonna start here. Like if I run a campaign and it's not working, I'm gonna start here. For a company that I own. A client, on the other hand, a lot of times we can't do this stuff because they're resistant to it or we can't change something. You're the owner of the business, you can change this. But if it's my business, I'm working on this first, and I'm gonna try to make the ads, tweak them to make my company profitable second, and do this stuff first. Versus the other way around, trying to, work on the ad campaigns day and night to get ads to be profitable quicker when this is much easier to do, basically speaking. It's more immediate, that's for sure, and more effective, and the scale of change you get in unit time is better, and the money that it takes to get to do it is better, because if you just work on the ads, you need ad spend to make improvements, and that ad spend costs money. So you're better off just changing these things first. It's actually cheaper as well. Anyway, one of the ways that you make the product or service itself better, just instead of just focusing on the ad strategy itself, is pivoting. You find a sub-service or product and only promote that, or start a new one, okay? To give you a couple of examples of this, you have home services companies. Like I had a company that does, HVAC, services, and they do plumbing services. I've had several like this, and ultimately, just like what I would tell you if I were having a private discussion with you, I would ask, what are the most profitable services that you do? Okay, out of everything you're doing, what do you wish that you would have more of than anything else? And why is it so profitable? Oh, I would have more generator installations, because those people, they usually pay $3,000 to $10,000 for a generator installation. It's high margin. Ultimately our ROI on that's higher because there's not as much competition as people say they could fix air conditioning units. We sell branded Generac, and that limits the competition accordingly. And I wish we would just get more of that. Well, what the hell are we doing spending all our time trying to get more HVAC clients when we could just go after the generator sub niche and go after it hard? And then once we started doing that, amount of money we're making from PPC just kept going up and up and up. So look at everything you're doing, find the most profitable thing you're doing out of all the products and services you sell, and just sell that. And not only that, double down on it. In this particular client's case, we couldn't do it, but if it were me, and that were my business, and I mentioned this to them, I would start selling other brands. Why? So that you can start showing up for people that are looking for the other brands as well, not just Generac installer, but other people looking for installers of other brands of generator systems. Not only that, but I could sell to more people. A lot of people that are typing in generator installers, some of them want a cheap unit. Well, currently, that person is just like, yeah, we can't do business with you. To be efficient about PPC, you want to have something that you can sell to anybody so you can get the full revenue out of the click, okay? So, and if you're selling product, this means looking at the product category that sells the most and just selling that product category, if you will. And then finding more brands of product. So if you sold golf clubs, what are you selling? What's got the highest margins? Drivers. Okay, let's sell drivers only. Let's find more brands of drivers that we can sell and just sell drivers. This is a simple thing it's laughable how much people don't just do this basic line of thinking of why am I doing everything? Even though I can sell everything, why am I? Truly, why am I? Well, I'm going to lose potential in selling putters if I don't advertise my putters. Well, why don't you just sell more drivers? Because you could generally, when you get down to the actual PPC strategy, there's 100 different things I talked about on this channel you can do to sell more of something. So why sell more of everything when you could just pick the thing that's most profitable, do the 100 strategies, and just go to town on that one category? It's way smarter to do that. And especially compared to ultimately getting a lackluster return and having to work really, really hard to get your return up when you're marketing everything. I mean, this is just simple stuff. Maybe you already do this, but we had a company who sold baby supplies, like cribs, baby swings, like all the stuff you would buy for a baby. And with them, it was selling products from new emerging brands. So, because if a certain brand comes out and they start getting distributors, it gets to be competitive and saturated eventually. Why not go find, and we knew this because I asked them the same question. What do you think is what has the highest margins? What's most profitable to you? Okay, let's do that. Well, we had a couple brands that were up and coming that didn't have 10,000 people already selling these products already. So those were just doing better because there was less competition. Well, with that said, I'm like, well, the obvious thing to do here is go find other emerging brands and do a deal with them. And then let's just we didn't just focus on them solely, but just help improve our ROI situation, instead of sitting back and just trying to drill the PPC on stuff that's mediocre, let's make deals with other emerging brands and market them and make exclusive deals with them if possible. So we're the only ones selling that emerging product brand, which, by the way, is tough to do, but you can do it. If you come to an emerging brand that's only doing, let's say, $2-3 million a year in revenue, you could come to them and say, hey, if you work directly with us, I guarantee I will buy $1 million worth of product minimum a year right now from you. And each additional year, I'll buy 100% more than I bought the previous year. And unless I do that, our relationship's by default terminated or in default, and you could go sell to somebody else. I really know what I'm doing. I have a massive customer list. I've got the best PPC guy. You don't have to mess with 1 million vendors, and I'm a really good guy to work with. Just sell to me and I'll sell it online for you. You take no risk. And if I don't constantly double the size of your company every year, you don't have to work with me anymore. This is an amazing way to make a ton of money in e-commerce, because then you don't have any competition. People that find those products organically through social media, shares and referrals and all that, they're just coming straight to you. And you wonder, like, why isn't the manufacturer just going direct to consumer? Not all manufacturers know how to sell online. In fact, selling online actually takes a lot of time to learn it. So whereas they could do that, not all of them will. So if you come in and it's early enough, they'll do that kind of deal with you. That's a little golden nugget there for you. So anyway, but bottom line, if you're selling product, maybe sell a certain brand or a certain category only, if you will. That's the pivot angle. You also have the better offer. Now, this is more effective for most people, because they don't have to change what they're selling, because people a lot of times can't change what they're selling or don't want to. It also has more legs, because there's no guarantee if you just go after generators, eventually there isn't people that see what you're doing and start jumping in. There's no barrier to entry. With the better offer angle, you can offer something so good that your competition just looks at it and like, oh, wow, I can't understand how they do that. Like, we have one at our own agency. We offer a guaranteed PPC service. No other agency wants to guarantee jack shit. And they say, oh, no good agency is ever going to guarantee anything. What? That sounds like a complete oxymoron. Yeah, I can't guarantee your results, literally speaking. Like, I'm not, a god, but I can at least say, hey, unless we get you some minimum results, you're not going to pay any management fees to us. And then at least I'm not completely full of shit and will tell you anything you want to hear to get your money, which is what the other agencies are going to do. They're going to tell you literally anything you want to hear to get you to sign up. Most people know this that have been through a few agencies, but that's the type of thing I'm talking about here. You're just simply taking a boring service, you're rewrapping a new packaging around it, and now it just looks like a whole new thing, even though it's the same exact thing as you had before. There's several ways to do this. First of all, you do a 200% money back guarantee, which a lot of people are crapping their pants already that are watching this. They say, there's no freaking way I'm doing this. But I promise you, your return rate on your products really isn't going to change if you offer a 200% money back guarantee. What is going to change is the conversion rate you get on your ad traffic right now. Generally speaking, you could double your conversion rate just by getting a 200% money back guarantee on your product, if not triple it. So yes, maybe 10% of the people, call you out, or 5% call you out and want to return their product for double their money back. Well, if you're selling your product at a 3x markup or 4x markup and you have to double their money back, ultimately, and you're quadrupling your money on every legitimate sale you do have, giving 5% of the people double their money back, that's just a cost of doing business, baby. You got to be unemotional about what you're doing to be a good marketer. You got to know how to appeal to people's emotions, but you also got to understand math. And you got to figure out how to make the best offer you can, or should anyway, without it costing more than what it produces. So in a lot of cases, it's literally a 200% money back guarantee, at least in markets where people don't trust you. Now, you don't have to do a 200% money back guarantee on a boot. Say, if you don't like these boots, get 200% money back, which is why you have other routes here, by the way. But on a wrinkle cream that people don't believe what you're saying by default, unless you're already a trusted brand, that could be the one thing that pivots and catapults your entire company into the multi-million-dollar company category itself, if you will. I've seen companies that have done guarantees itself. So we guarantee that it will make your testosterone go up at least 30% in 90 days, or we'll give you your money back on the product. That's not obviously as exciting as a 200% money back guarantee, but that's a good middle ground. If you can't do the 200%, people love to see this stuff because it makes them feel confident about buying. So if nobody else, it's mainly about what is nobody willing to do in your market and doing that. That is obviously something that people will give a shit about. But if you got all these people selling testosterone boosters and none of them are offering a money back guarantee if you don't get results, then do that. And that can be the one thing that makes all the difference. You got big warranties. I've seen so many companies offer a better warranty than the competition and just win on that one fact. You sell blinds, why not throw a 25-year warranty on it? Don't know that it'll last 25 years? Well, so neither does any of the other manufacturers that offer a warranty in the entire world. There's no way to legitimately test the product and know, unless you're going to be talking about like military type testing where they have like simulation chambers and all this shit. The average company has no clue whether something's going to last that long or not. And frankly, if they call you out on it 10 years from now and your company's successful, who gives a shit? Pay it out. If it's not, well, you're gone. You don't have anything to worry about anyway. I mean, right now, if you get to be a multi-million-a-year company and then it cuts into half of your margins because you got to get refunds eventually, at least you got half of $5 million a year versus, fully $100,000 a year now. So, I mean, and this can be done for basically anything, especially home improvement products. I've seen it done in, but you offer a 30-year warranty, the competition doesn't offer that. People are just going to assume yours is the best. And you could then, by the way, mark up your product. Okay, that also goes with the 200% money back guarantee, by the way. Yes, you give people their money back, but the ones that don't ask for their money back, you can now charge 50% higher than what you would have charged otherwise or got away with, just because you have that damn guarantee there. With the warranty, it's the same thing. You can charge significantly more money than the median in your market for your product category or service category, if you want to say that, because a warranty technically could be applied to a service as well. This service will continue working, blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. But it's so easy to do. Today you can just decide, I'm going to offer a 30-year warranty, and that's it. You put it on all your marketing collateral, your website, and your PPC conversions are going to go up. The question is, it's just how much. Obviously there's no rule against, you can't do multiple of these. You could do a 30-year warranty which kicks up your conversion rate 50%, and kicks up your click-through rate on your ad 50%, which typically it will. Then you could have a 200% money back guarantee layered on top so that you get another 50% jump in conversion rate. And doubling your conversion rate on the same traffic, that can be the difference between making money and not making money, and that's all it took. Discounts after raising price. So generally, I've said this time and time again to our clients at our firm, you will make more money, way more, having higher prices on your website so that you can have specials ongoing that you can market to the public than you will having a lower price but no specials. This is why almost all brick and mortar sellers, they're not stupid. They have loss leader products where they sell them super cheap to get you in the store, and they have, specials during all the holidays and multiple times of the year to get people in the store. You raise your prices 20%, and then you have a continuous promotion that you're always going, July special, August special, September special, 20% off everything in store. You say that on the site, and then when they leave, you remarket to them with that message, you're going to make more money. Okay? So this didn't change what you were selling again. It just made people more apt to buy it. And you didn't have to change what you're selling. Call for a special price / product level targeting with it. So this is particularly good for commodity type items. If you're selling let's say a Mr. Cool air conditioning unit, and you're not allowed to, you're set up with MAP pricing, so you're not allowed to sell it for less than what the manufacturer says you could sell it for. The main way to get ahead in that situation, which I made a video just about how to deal with MAP pricing. If you're in this market, a market like this, check out that video as well. But what you do is you say, call for special price on your product page. You get them to talk to you. Because they're talking to you, you can build rapport with them, differentiate yourself that way. And then you can say, I'll give you 5% off for the next 60 minutes to buy this. Otherwise, the discount code that I'm giving you here doesn't work, and that's it. And you'll lock down the sale. And technically, yeah, that's screwing over your manufacturer slightly, but I mean, retailers are doing this either way. I'm telling you they do this. Manufacturers know people who are doing this. They're just doing the map pricing just to kind of like a little bit. And then similar to that with the remarketing, they were looking at a Mr. Cool J12 air conditioning unit. When they leave the site, they see an ad with that same air conditioning unit they were exactly looking at with the May special, call for special price. And then, you drive the call that way. And really what you're doing in that situation is just getting them a call. Your whole funnel is hoping that they'll call. And when they call, you got the sale. Versus just hoping them to check out, hoping they'll check out without talking to anybody, which they may do that. But it's hard because people look around for a better deal. And if you want to lock them down, you get them to call. So that's one other way. And then you got live chat. Okay? Live chat. A lot of people don't want to do live chat. Oh, they want something they can call me. Well, it's scary calling companies. A, because they don't want to be hard sold. B, they don't want some dumbass calling them 10,000 times asking them why didn't they buy or have their information sold. Live chat is a happy middle ground where they can just ask questions without any of those fears. Okay, which you could do live chat and then turn them into a phone call, because once you got them on live chat, you could say, hey, this is a complicated question. Why don't we just turn this into a video call? Click this link and we'll do a video call right now. You still don't have to give me your number, but at least we could do a face-to-face. Or you could say, call me. Either or, but live chat, or if they do live chat, they do it the dumb way, where they just say, hey, if there's anything I could do to help you, which is what somebody would do if you went into a clothing store. And what is your reaction is, your reaction there is, I don't give a shit, stay away from me. But if you instead have an automated message that says, hey, I'm an RJ12 Mr. Cool expert. What do you plan on using the RJ12 for, Mr.? I could let you know if it's going to be powerful enough for your application, and that could be your default auto message. Then when they reply to that, you start replying for real. But that gets, a response rate of 10x of what the other one does. And that can be your edge. And your edge is just simply, you have the live chat there and you did it in an intelligent way. That can be all you need to make what you're selling seem better because it has better sales support tied to it. Or, if there's no phone number on your site, you do that because that in itself will change your conversion rates, usually double in and itself. / when people call, instead of having a secretary answer the phone, you have an actual salesperson with product knowledge, which makes a big difference as well. For that matter, if you're going to compete with Amazon anymore, you got to be able to do what I just mentioned, because otherwise, why not buy it from Amazon? I'm going to get it quicker. I'm not going to get scammed by Amazon. So unless you're going to be offering me technical advice, there's no point in you being in this market. Bonuses. So you could offer, if you buy this air conditioning unit here and you buy it this weekend, we'll throw in free installation, okay? Which that may cost you $100 to go, call a local installer and help somebody install this thing in their house or whatever. Maybe it's $500. I don't know, hypothetically speaking, but you can toy around with this stuff. The key though is you play around with this, you find something that you can offer as an extra that doesn't basically cost you much, that will increase your conversion rates more than what the cost of that thing is. So you may sell that air conditioning unit, and that air conditioning unit cost a couple grand, and it costs you $300 to pay some local guy on Craigslist to install it for them. But if it doubles your conversion rate, you're making more money now because you still got to pay for ads to get sales anyway. Why not throw this free installation in? Because ultimately, I'm still going to have a higher profit margin at the end of the day, or profit, I should say, giving the free thing there than just not having it there. And now I have to spend more on ads just to generate a sale. It's all about testing, baby. You might be surprised how much one of these things increases your conversion rate. The worst thing that could happen is it blows up in your face and for a month you fuck something up, but then you just turn it off. People are so scared to try this stuff. If you tried 200% money back guarantee and people ask for a refund, okay, so be it. You shut it off right away, it didn't work. Too many people tried to scam me, which, by the way, very few people are going to remember your 200% money back guarantee like you think it does. People think, oh, everybody's going to know about this if I do this. The reality is your return rate is going to be about the same as it was. Of those people who return, 30% are going to remember the 200% money back thing, and you're going to have to give 2 or 3% of your buyers a 200% money back guarantee, which is nothing, which is why it's so good, because when everybody's scared of doing something, that's where your opportunity is. When everybody's doing something, there's no opportunity there in marketing. You got to get some guts to make a lot of money in marketing, or just have something nobody else has and everybody wants. You can go that route with it. Guaranteed lowest price or reward. So you can say, hey, not only do we have the lowest price, if you find something that's cheaper, we'll give you a $100 steak voucher from Omaha Steaks just for wasting your time. People see that and they're like, whoa, they're really going to give me free steaks? This is not the cheapest. It must be the cheapest. When really, it probably wasn't even the cheapest. Now, this doesn't work great, obviously, for something where it's like the air conditioning unit that everybody lists their price online. That's not going to work unless you legitimately are the cheapest, which you probably aren't. But for something like where you're hiring a cleaning service, which is not easy to find out the price, what they'll do is just go through you, assuming you're the cheapest. We know this because we've tested this many times. And they're not going to check with anybody else. So now your conversion rate goes up, and you really didn't have to give anything out. And once in a while, you give out a steak. Who gives a shit? Okay? Grow up if you think that's scary. You can try it for a month and see how it works. But anyway, with that said, got a couple other companies where we did this I'll talk about. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you absolutely should. I have the best information on this channel that'll help you make millions of dollars running ads for your business. Go ahead and take a minute to subscribe. Furthermore, I've got a great blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step information on the strategies like I talk about on this channel laid out there for you to follow with screenshots, with everything you need to use them. I definitely want you to check that out as well at guaranteedppc.com/blog. Furthermore, if you have any questions about anything I'm covering here, leave me a comment below or just reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I can schedule a one-off consulting or coaching call with you. I can go over anything that you want and go into detail on it. By the way, I have our agency at Guaranteed PPC, what we do is we get clients guaranteed results on their ad campaigns, and we don't charge our clients management fees until we get them a minimum result with their campaign, which nobody else does, like I was mentioning earlier. If you would like that, I can get you an 8-quarter projection on your results. Just reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to provide that for you. No cost. And in addition to that, if you don't like working with agencies, I have ad templates available. If you're in a market that we've been in before, you can literally buy the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that work for your market. You copy paste those into your ad account and get the same results we did. It's all fair game to do that. And we can tell you the results you're going to get with it up front. We've been in over 100 different niches before in the last over a decade doing business here. So the chances are quite high we've already got you the results, or results in a market that you're looking to enter the first time. It can cut out all the work that we had to figure out how to get results in your market already that you're interested in or in. So you can also ask me about that if you reach out to me at my firm as well. So as far as these case studies go, we had a travel tours company, okay? So going into the bonuses, okay? We had a tour company that we work with that does, travel tours where, you go out and you see turtles and you see this church. So we're on the same page. What this company did was they would video record, because the tour guide's got to go out there anyway. He's just sitting there with his thumb up his butt anyway, regardless, probably screwing around on his phone potentially. He would do is record and take photos during the entire tour. Cost no extra money to this tour company. And what they would say is, as far as the bonus to make themselves stand out, and make their offer stand out for their campaigns, is to say, we'll give you a finished video production after the tour that you can have as a courtesy for going with us on our tour. So you get like a processed, polished video at the end with a few polished photos itself. And then all they did was outsource this to somebody in another country where the labor cost isn't very high. And it cost them an extra, $20 worth of labor cost to get a really nice looking package, which they're averaging around $500 for an average tour because you got multiple people going on the tour. And so you're talking about for an extra giving away 3% of the revenue, if you will, in terms of added costs, we're now increasing the conversion rates by a good 60% just by doing that simple little bonus there, which nobody's copied it thus far, which other people are going to say, oh, how are we going to afford to do this? Find a way to make it cheap. Get creative. We also had a mortgage company. So going into the guaranteed lowest pricing in that market, we literally said, we guarantee the lowest rate on your mortgage because we already know, and this is where it pays to do your research on your market. What does your consumer care about? What do they not care about? You can read your competitor reviews to find this out really easily or ask your salespeople. But we know more than anything else, people just want the cheapest rate on their mortgage. So, and they hate going and trying to call 10 sales brokers, mortgage brokers, and hear a pitch to find out who has the lowest rate. So what do? They say, we have the lowest rate, and if we don't, we're gonna give you a free Outback Steakhouse gift card for $50 for wasting your time. Boom. That was all it took to make their search campaigns go more than double the amount of revenue and profit that we were able to generate than we had before by putting that on the ad and putting that on the landing page. It made running display campaigns profitable. Anybody who's recently searched for mortgages, our banner ad with that offer on it scaled the company. We also were able to run the same type of thing on Facebook in a limited way, but more importantly on YouTube. Because why YouTube and display? Because you could target people already interested in a mortgage there, so the targeting is better. But that gives you a really good example of how to actually transform your business without changing anything about what you're actually doing. Layer on a bit of gold, flakes on the outside, like the guys at the steakhouses do. They cover that steak with gold. You can't even taste the gold. It does nothing. But now suddenly they can charge double the price for that steak. It's a big hustle, but perception is key. How people perceive things dictates what they're willing to pay. If you do these things, make what you have seem more valuable when it is more valuable, it's not as much as what the value actually is. But you're not screwing them over. As long as you give them what you say you're going to give them, that's up to them to decide how much it's worth. You're just framing things so they come to their own conclusions themselves. So anyway, with that said, I've got a brand new group that I've opened up recently. There's about 100 people in there at this time. I'm sure by the time you watch this, there'll be several hundred, where we've got guys and gals that are watching this channel all talking amongst each other in the group. I'm answering questions. You can find the link in the video description to that Discord group where there's a free PPC course in there just as a thank you for joining it. I highly encourage you to jump in there if you have any questions about anything or want to talk to some really smart people that can help you out. Furthermore, also, I'm looking for companies to invest in. I've invested in several companies since roughly 2020, where I come in, I invest in ad spend in a company that has a great product or service I believe in and set up all their ads for free. And then in exchange, I become a small equity partner in the company and take a percentage of the revenue growth from the company. And if you have a great product or service, but poor marketing, that's the perfect solution for you. I can take whatever you have, and if it's gonna work, it will work with our strategies, and we'll do it all for you. If you're interested in having myself and my company, invest in you like that, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. Be happy to speak with you about it. With that said, I'm gonna wrap everything up with this. Hopefully this made a lot of sense. We'll help you out. You do some of this stuff for yourself. I'll see you later. If you wanna see another video, click here. It is one of my best ones.